Hi everybody, Steve Fitch, CEO and founder of Healthy Systems USA. Now we are going to go over our weight loss manual. This is our weight loss manual right here. If you don't have this in front of you yet, I want you to go to the website, which you should be on right now, and go to the Our Program page right at the bottom. There's a PDF file there. I want you to upload that and print it out, and we're going to go through this. I'm going to go through this with you, okay? We're going to go through this page by page. What I do is I tell people to, when you print this out, read it over 2, 3, 4 times, because you're going to pick some things up out of this each time that you read it. I would say 90% of the questions that we get are all right here in the manual. However, we are still here to help you every step of the way. We're not just going to send you this product and cross our fingers and hope that this works for you. We are here to help you every step of the way. We're going to hold your hand and make sure that this works for you. We've had thousands and thousands of people have tremendous success from this, including myself, since 2010. So we want to do the same for you, but you've got to let us help you and make sure that you follow this program. First 3 pages of this program, just kind of an overview of what you're about to do right here. This is where everything starts right here. It basically says the protocol or the program. This is page 4. So I'm going to go through here like this. What we're going to do is, this explains the binge right here, what you're going to do for the first 3 days, where you're going to binge and spray 3 sprays 3 times a day, the morning, in the middle of the afternoon, and before you go to bed. Tells you want to eat 50% more food. It's all explained right here. This is when the diet starts, or the very low calorie diet starts on day number 4. That's all explained right here. This is, you're going to avoid all white sugars, including any of the diet sugars like Equal, NutraSweet. I mean, aspartame, saccharin, and sucralose are bad chemicals that our body doesn't even digest. So those are worse. So no white sugar at all. You can use Truvia or Stevia. That's an all-natural made from a plant. Avoid all fruits except the ones I mentioned. You can have apples, oranges, grapefruits, pears, and any type of a berry. They want you to avoid all starches, including breads, rice, pasta, cookies, etc. No fast food. That's just bad for you anyway. No alcoholic beverages, especially beer. Now, if you do want to have a drink or two while you're doing this program, it's either white rum or vodka. Put soda water, not tonic water, because tonic water has sugar in it, and then you can put a lemon or a lime and an orange in there. I used to be a beer drinker, but now I'll drink vodka soda because it's just much less calories and less carbs. You also want to limit your creams, moisturizers, and lotions. A lot of people, when they read this in the manual, they go, what, I can't put any? We're not saying none. The skin is the largest organ of your body, and it will absorb more junk than anything. So just be aware of what you're putting on. You know, sometimes in the summer you see people put this baby oil on. Your skin's absorbing that. So while you're doing the weight loss program and the diet, the very low calorie diet, you just want to be aware of what you're putting on. Especially in the desert, especially in the winter time, it can be dry, so you got to have some moisturizer for your skin. So just be aware of what you're putting on. That's all what we're really saying there. You want to try to eat organic. I mean, that's the best. Fresh, always fresh. Frozen only if you have to, and nothing in a bottle or a can. If it's frozen, make sure you're looking at the ingredients, because they add a lot of sodium to frozen, especially meats and stuff, to preserve it. No turkey because of the tryptophan, no pork, no lamb because of the too high fat content of the meat, no salmon or tuna unless it's albacore. Again, very good oils, just not during the diet part of our program. And no peas, corn, carrots, potatoes, or mushrooms. Potato is a starch, mushroom is a fungus. We don't want to put a fungus into our body while we're detoxifying as well. Peas and carrots are full of sugar. Yeah, lots of sugar in there. And then corn our body doesn't even digest. I mean, I love my barbecued corn on the grill, but it doesn't do a whole heck of a lot for you nutritionally. So no fruit juices, because it's mostly 50% sugar water in there. You know, if you want to do fruit juice, you're just going to have the fruits at your apple or orange. You can grind them up and have the juice, but it has to be totally fresh from that. No dairy. Dairy is not good for you. We process the heck out of dairy just so we can consume it as a human. We're the only mammal that consumes the milk of another mammal, and as I was once told, cow's milk is for baby cows. And no nuts. Again, very good oil in the nuts, just not during the diet, because we want to be as sugarless and as fat and oil free as possible. Okay, this next page here, this is the typical diet day. I kind of went over this with when we were going through the very low calorie diet. When we went through the binge, then the diet, I explained to you what a typical diet day was on there. So if it's all right here, but you can go back and watch that video again too, the very low calorie diet, and it'll explain you everything that I have right in here. We don't want you to skip meals. People that skip meals don't do as well. You know, it's funny, I talk to people maybe that aren't on track losing the weight that they should, and I'll talk to them and ask them a few questions, and a lot of times people say, well, I skipped this, you know, snack, or I skipped this here. I figured if I ate less that it would help me lose weight quicker, and that's the exact opposite. You want to eat every 2 to 3 hours because, as I said earlier, that will keep your metabolism going, okay? So don't skip meals. We know people who skip meals don't do as well. And then don't stress or waste time counting calories. Do the portion sizes, you'll be okay. We say 600 to 800 calories if it's 825, 830. Don't stress. Stress causes the body to release cortisol, and cortisol will hold on to the fat. So this is a list of all the meats and fishes that you can have. These are all the fruits you can have. These are all the vegetables you can have. So they're all listed here. You can take this with you when you go grocery shopping. A list of all the seasonings you can have. You can have as much black coffee and tea as you want. A little bit of half and half, maybe a tablespoon in the morning with your coffee or tea, but that's about all you really want. It's best to avoid it, but if you want to have that in your morning coffee or morning tea, that's fine. Coffee and tea does not count as water. You want to drink about a half a gallon to a gallon of water while you're doing this program, because that is going to flush out the bad toxins out of your body. 3 ways the body gets rid of toxins: that's urination, bowel movement, and sweating, and it requires water for all 3. So drink water. Kind of a rule of thumb too is you should take your weight, divide it by 2, and that's how many ounces you should be drinking per day. So an example, a 200-pound person should be drinking 100 ounces of water per day minimum, okay? Make sure you drink that. Some people just have a habit, they're great. I'm not that good at drinking water, but what I've done is I put my water bottle in front of me and I say, if you look at that bottle, take a drink, and pretty soon you're drinking enough water, okay? Then the next page here, these are plateaus. We know we're going to hit a plateau. You're going to be losing the weight and come along, and it's just going to kind of stop. Well, I was talking to my doctor. He wanted me to explain this program to him, and I was explaining to him, and he said, you know why you hit that plateau? And I didn't at the time. And he said it's because once the body loses about 10% of the weight, the brain thinks it's losing it too fast and tries to slow it down. That's why everybody will hit plateaus at a different time, because your weight is different than my weight, is different than another person's weight. So 10% of our body weight is going to be a different time. So we are going to hit these plateaus, but we're all going to hit them at different times. But we know they're coming, and we know how to break through them. There's a list of plateau breakers here. The best plateau breaker is an apple day. You're basically going to have an apple for breakfast, an apple for snack, an apple for lunch, an apple for snack, and then for dinner or supper, you're going to have chicken or steak and a tomato. There's something about the lycopene in the tomato and the protein in the chicken and the steak that will break right through this plateau. We've seen thousands of people break through these plateaus. We know they're coming. There's a lot of other plateau breakers listed in here that'll help you get through that. If you have any other questions at that time, you can always call us and we'll help you too. This is a few more plateau breakers. And then this is the 21-day maintenance or stabilization, so you will not regain your weight back. As I said earlier, you're going to continue to do the low-calorie diet for 2 days after you stop taking the supplements, because they're still working. Then you're going to add the other foods slowly back into your diet, but strictly staying with the 3 meals, 3 fruit snacks, healthy eating plan that we've been teaching you during this whole process. Because again, the reason that people gain weight and keep it on, poor eating habits, low metabolism. So we're teaching you these healthy eating habits, so continue them after you're done, even during the maintenance and even after you're done, because that will keep you living a healthier life. And then, like I said, if you gain 2 pounds or more with in these 21 days, you're going to do what's called a steak day. No food all day long, drink a lot of water during the day, and then for dinner, have steak and tomatoes. Again, there's something about the lycopene in the tomatoes and the protein in the steak that should correct that. Then after the 21 days, you're done, and you can slowly add white flour and white sugar back into your diet occasionally. But again, do it as a treat to yourself. Like I told you earlier, my guilty pleasure is still pizza, but I'll do it once or twice a month instead of once or twice a week like I used to. You know, it's very important, you know. But you'll find out once you eat those bad foods, it tastes great, but it just does not sit in the stomach, because the stomach is, once you're used to putting good food in the stomach, you know, it's amazing how you put the bad stuff in there, it just doesn't like it anymore. It's kind of like an Indy race car. You know, you put Indy race fuel in there and that thing will run, it'll win races. You put the unleaded in from the local gas station and it's going to run, but it's going to sputter and spit, and it's just not going to run as efficient as it will if you put the right fuel in there. This is a new relationship with fuel. Food is fuel. That's what you need to do, is realize that that's just fuel for your body. And treat yourself every once in a while. This is here just for people with high blood pressure and diabetes. This is just telling you that if you do have that, you need to monitor your levels on a daily basis. Because once the body starts losing abnormal fat cells, it will start to be able to take care of itself. So the medication that you're on now, you won't need as much as the body starts to lose weight. So you want to monitor your blood sugar levels and your blood pressure levels. And once you see them start to normalize, notify your doctor immediately so they can adjust the medication. Very important, okay, to do that. So that is our complete weight loss manual. So our next step is I'm going to answer a few questions that typically come up, and that's pretty much it for our consultation. So thank you very much. Hang tight, and I'll be coming up with a few of the major questions that come up and some answers for you.